Hi, I'm Alice.
Hey, I'm Jack.
And in this week's video, we're taking you to Epcot's 2020 International Flower and Garden Festival. This is one of the most highly anticipated festivals of the year for Epcot. It was scheduled for this year to run March 4th through June 1st, but because of the coronavirus, it actually got shut down pretty quickly on March 15th.
Yeah, and unfortunately it looks like the parks won't be reopening by June 1st. I think logistically there's probably not any way they can extend the festival, so it's probably over for the year now.
But as you can imagine, at a flower and garden festival, there are lots of flowers and gardens. This one that you're seeing now is actually in the Canada Pavilion. It's based on the Bouchard Gardens in British Columbia. And this is one of my favorite places to go. It's there year-round, but during the festival they add more to it. And every time we go, this is where I go to take a lot of pictures. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, you see here, there's one of the floating flower pots that they have throughout the festival. There's over 240 floating flower planters, hundreds of gardens, some 30 million blooms in the gardens at this festival. So it's a lot to take in. It's obviously too much for us to include in the video, but this one in Canada is one of the most beautiful that's there year-round.
And then another one that I really enjoy is the tea garden over in England. This garden shows all of the different kinds of teas, and then of course it's right next to the tea shop where you can go buy tea, but they make it really nice with these decorations and the teacups.
They even have a free tea garden tour that you can take each day as well. This is one of my personal favorites coming up here. This is the butterfly house. Inside this tent are plants that attract butterflies. There are hundreds of live butterflies just flying all around you inside the tent. I've seen butterflies land on people as they walk through. You also see the different stages of a butterfly's life. They've got chrysalises here, and sometimes you can actually see butterflies hatching out of their chrysalises. And there's just a lot of information shared as well about the life cycle of butterflies and about the types of plants you can plant in your own yard to try to attract butterflies.
Over in the Japan Pavilion, they have a bonsai tree garden, so you get to see all of these different types of these miniature trees with signs and information that tell you all about them. That one's always fascinating to me.
And this is in the Germany Pavilion. This is a garden that has a miniature train in it, and it actually was first put in the Germany Pavilion as part of the 1995 Flower and Garden Festival. And the miniature train going through the little town here was so popular, they actually have left it there ever since. They use bushes, shrubbery to try to be reminiscent of trees. And very nearby there's another section of miniature gardens. Walt Disney collected miniatures. That was one of his hobbies, in addition to his love for trains. So you see here little miniature houses, miniature furniture, and the flowers, the garden built up around it for scenery.
And then throughout the park, they also have a couple playgrounds, because you can imagine, maybe flowers won't hold the interest of the little ones for very long. So this is a nice area where kids can go and burn off some energy. They have seating for parents, so you can sit by and watch them. It's a really nice area.
One of the most popular things about the festival, though, is the Topiaries. These are living statues that have been made out of live plants, shrubbery. Here we see Kermit the Frog. There are almost 100 of these. Most of them are Disney characters. You'll see some are not as we go through the pictures.
Yeah, there are some of my favorite characters portrayed here. This is another thing that I always love to take pictures of. So this topiary in the Japan pavilion of a dragon is really awesome, very intricate. I love taking pictures of this one. And when we researched it a little bit, this one actually used to be a topiary that they would feature in the park every year. It actually had a feature that where steam would come out of it, but eventually the steam stopped working, so they took it away for a while. Now they have brought it back with some modifications. They're using a new plant, and it looks a little different, but I love it. I didn't get to see it in the previous years, so it's totally new to me, and I think it's an awesome addition. Here, of course, is Snow White. They do change them up some from year to year, but then there are some that you can see every time you go.
Yeah, every year they have at least one new one they add. Every now and then they'll add several all at once. Most of these are repeated year after year, though. Some of these have been there for decades. This is a festival that started in 1994, so some of these have been used a lot over the years. This is the new one this year, though.
Yeah, this is Remy from Ratatouille. They're working on the new Ratatouille attraction over in the France pavilion. And so, of course, Remy, the chef in the movie, he makes Ratatouille. So this garden actually has the ingredients and the spices that he needs, and it shows you the recipe also.
This topiary is of a very popular Epcot character. You haven't seen him in any Disney movies, but this is Figment, and he has his own ride, the Figment's Journey into Imagination. It's not as great as it used to be, but Figment remains a very popular character.
And then, of course, over in Norway, we have Anna and Elsa from Frozen. That's been a very popular addition since they added that. And there's the troll from that movie.
Trolls have always played an important role in the Norway pavilion. You'll see several instances of trolls over there.
And then Donald Duck is always one of my favorites too. He always has his nephews with him. They're always doing something fun, so those are fun to take pictures of.
Here's last year's new topiary, Bo Peep. She's got her sheep with her, and of course that's Woody next to her. Here's Goofy. You see the flower towers behind him. There's hundreds of those throughout the gardens as well.
And this is their concert venue. So one of the highlights of the festival is that they always have these concerts. They call it Garden Rocks. And when we were there, the performers were the Guess Who. It was a really nice concert. And you can look online if you want to see the schedule of who's going to be performing when you're there.
Yeah, they used to only have Garden Rocks concerts on the weekends. Starting this year, they were scheduled every day, of course. That didn't last very long.
And then, of course, another highlight of this festival is the food. They have a lot of different food booths all around World Showcase. And we're going to show you some of the food that we tried. There were so many that we couldn't get to them all, but we have a couple sample menus here to show you what they have. The Taste of Marrakesh is one I've always wanted to try but haven't tried yet.
Yeah, they have about 15 of these. Of course, there's even more booths at the Food and Wine Festival in the fall, but pretty much every festival they have throughout the year, food booths are now a big part of it. Here's the Honey Bistro, a lot of recipes including honey. There's a bee garden here. Thankfully, I didn't see many bees. They also have a scavenger hunt for those little Spike the Bee statues for kids. They can get a paper where they check off the locations of Spike the Bee and can receive a prize if they find all the Spike the Bee statues within Epcot. Here's the menu at the Honey Bistro. Again, we had already had lunch somewhere else, so we just tried a few things here.
So we actually ate at the place called Citrus Blossom, and this is one of the things that we tried. It was a citrus shortcake. It was very, very good, and we also got an orange cream shake served in this souvenir orange bird sipper cup. And ever since I saw these online, I've wanted one. I just think they're adorable. And as you're going to see, there's also a lot of merchandise with the orange bird on it. They had really cute shirts, they had the ears, and those are specific to this festival. So if you see that when you're there and you think it's cute, you have to get it. It'll probably be gone next year.
They also had some other merchandise lines out. Here's the Spike the Bee merchandise line, Sweet as Can Be. They also had a Farmer Mickey merchandise line. as well as we'll have a few shots of the merchandise line they called World in Bloom that starred Minnie Mouse. A lot of these items are able to be purchased through the Shop Disney website right now. I'm not sure what they're going to do with all the leftover merchandise. One would assume because it only lasted a few days, they'll have a lot of merchandise available. Maybe they'll push it all online. But every year they have several different lines of merchandise.
I hope they keep this year's online. There's actually a couple things I didn't pick up that I would love to have. If you're into gardening, you might have seen the little flower pots, and then they have these topiaries that you can take home and plant. They have some really, really cute stuff for your garden at home.
This is a great festival. Epcot is beautiful this time of year in the spring with all of the gardens. The horticulturists throughout the park are replacing flowers as they die. So even though it's a 3-month festival, anytime during those 3 months you go, it just looks amazing. The smell is great. It's a beautiful time of year to go to Epcot.
We hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you liked it, I hope you will give us a thumbs up. If you've been to Epcot Flower and Garden Festival, tell us about your experience. How did it go for you? What is your favorite thing? Let us know in the comments. And I also hope that if you haven't subscribed yet, you will hit that subscribe button so you never miss another one of our videos that's coming up. That's all for this week. We'll see you next time. We're traveling through.